This video is sponsored by Model3Part.com. For all the latest and greatest Tesla Model 3 accessories, visit Model3Part.com. How much bigger is the Model Y than the Model 3? Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm JP, and today we are going to compare all of the interior and exterior dimensions of the Model 3 and the Model Y. As there's just been so many questions being asked about the exterior and interior dimension differences between both vehicles. Today we're going to break them all down and declare a winner. I hope. So now that the Model Y has finally been delivered and we now have access to the true exterior and interior dimensions, we are going to break them all down in detail to help clear up any confusion and hopefully help those of you that are on the fence make an informed decision on which vehicle suits you the best. All right, so we have the overall length of the Model Y coming in at 187 inches. We have the length of the Model 3 coming in at 184.8 inches. We have the overall width of the Model Y coming in at 75.6 inches. We have the Model 3 coming in at 72.8 inches. We have the overall height of the Model Y coming in at 63.9 inches, and the height of the Model 3 coming in at 56.8 inches. We have the wheelbase of the Model Y coming in at 113.8 inches, and the wheelbase of the Model 3 coming in at 113.2 inches. We have the front overhang of the Model Y coming in at 34.4 inches, and the front overhang of the Model Y coming in at 33 inches. We have the rear overhang of the Model Y coming in at 38.8 inches, and the rear overhang of the Model 3 coming in at an even 39 inches. This is a big one. We have the Model Y ground clearance coming in at 6.6 inches, and the ground clearance of the Model 3 coming in at 5.5 inches. We have the front track of the Model Y coming in at 64.4 inches, and just as a note, this is without the 21-inch wheels. We have the front track of the Model 3 coming in at 62.2 inches. We have the rear track of the Model Y coming in at 64.4 inches, and again here without the 21-inch wheels. We have the rear track of the Model 3 coming in at 62.2 inches. So as mentioned, you can see that the two cars are extremely close to one another in size from an exterior perspective, with just a few dimensions that really separate the two vehicles. So with that being said, let's take a quick look at those specific dimensions and differences. We of course have the height of the Model Y, which is a huge difference and sits about 7 inches taller than the Model 3, which is about a banana's length taller than the Model 3. So then we have the width of the Model Y, which is almost 3 inches wider than the Model 3, which is about a pack of extra chewing gum wider than the Model 3. And then of course we have the ground clearance, which is a big deal for a lot of you folks out there. And the Model Y sits slightly more than 1 inch taller than the Model 3, which is slightly larger than this almond Hershey Kiss that I have here. So these are not extreme differences, but you can certainly tell by looking at both vehicles when they are side by side. So from an exterior perspective, that's really about it. Yes, of course, there are a few other variances, but they are so close to one another, I don't think that they are that noticeably different. So to round this up, the most noticeable exterior differences is the height, the width, and the ground clearance of the Model Y compared to that of the Model 3. So what are your thoughts on the exterior differences? Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Because I think when you actually look at the two vehicles, you can certainly see some differences, but did you think that they were that close to one another? All right, so now let's take a look at the interior differences of the Model Y and the Model 3. We have the headroom in the front of the Model Y coming in at 41 inches even. We have the headroom in the front of the Model 3 coming in at 40.3 inches. We have the headroom in the rear of the Model Y coming in at 39.4 inches, and the headroom in the rear of the Model 3 coming in at 37.7 inches. We have the legroom in the front of the Model Y coming in at 41.8 inches, and the legroom in the front of the Model 3 coming in at 42.7 inches. We have the legroom in the rear of the Model Y coming in at 40.5 inches, and we have the legroom of the Model 3 in the rear coming in at 35.2 inches. We have the shoulder room in the front of the Model Y coming in at 56.4 inches, and the shoulder room in the front of the Model 3 coming in at 56.3 inches. We have the shoulder room in the rear of the Model Y coming in at 54 inches even. And we have the shoulder room of the Model 3 in the rear coming in at the same measurement, 54 inches. We have the hip room in the front of the Model Y coming in at 53.8 inches, and the hip room in the front of the Model 3 coming in at 53.4 inches. We have the hip room in the rear of the Model Y coming in at 50.6 inches, and the hip room in the rear of the Model 3 coming in at 52.4 inches. And here is a big one that everybody wants to know. We have the seat height of the Model Y in the front coming in at 26 inches off the ground, and the seat height in the Model 3 coming in at 22 inches. Wow, so you can see the Model Y and the Model 3 are extremely close in just about every single category. Now, of course, remember that the Model Y is based on about 75% of the Model 3. So one might expect that these dimensions would be this close. Let's take a quick look at the major differences of the interior between the Model Y and the Model 3. We have the rear legroom that really stands out in the Model Y, which is about 5 inches larger than that of the Model 3. Just to give a comparison, this mug is about 5 inches tall. So that there is your difference. But here the Model Y has less legroom in the front and is about an inch shorter compared to that of the Model 3. And we'll go back to my Hershey Kiss, which is about 1 inch tall. So is it a big deal? Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Now, I think the Model Y gained the legroom in the rear due to the way that the doors sit further back and are cut more straight, which allowed those seats to sit further back in the Model Y. Now, while the headroom is nearly the same between the two vehicles, I truly believe that the beautiful all-glass roof in the Model Y gives that perception that it's much larger than it actually is. And another noticeable difference in favor of the Model 3 is the hip room in the rear, which is almost 2 inches larger than that of the Model Y. Now we also see that the Model Y seat height from the ground is also pretty significant, sitting at 4 inches higher than that of the Model 3, which of course should make getting in and out of the vehicle fairly easy. So from an interior perspective, folks, that's really about it. Yes, of course, there are a few other variances, but again, they are just so close to one another, I don't think that they're going to be that noticeably different. So let's wrap this up and put it all into perspective. In my opinion, yes, just my opinion, the noticeable differences between the Model Y and the Model 3's exterior are the height, the width, and the ground clearance, which all favor the Model Y. The most notable difference between the Model Y and the Model 3's interior is the rear legroom, the seat height, and the headroom in the rear, which again, all favor the Model Y, but by a very, very slim margin. And I don't want to leave out the Model 3 here, because some dimensions are actually larger than that of the Model Y, but again, by a very slim margin. The Model 3 has more legroom up front. Regardless of how small it is, there's still more legroom, and has nearly the same headroom in the front and rear, and also has more hip room in the rear of the Model 3. So I'm not sure I can declare a winner here, maybe you can, but regardless, I think that both vehicles are absolutely awesome, and I think whichever you decide to choose, you're going to be extremely happy. Again here, I think the two vehicles are very, very similar in size in just about every category. But who cares what I think? I want to know what you think. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Did you think that the two vehicles were actually this close in comparison to one another? Or was it just a perception because when you saw the two cars sit side by side, you saw that the Model Y just is much taller and appeared to be much higher than that of the Model 3? Well, comment down below and let me know your thoughts. And please, on the way out, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks again for tuning in, folks. We truly appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.